Hello from Phnom Penh, Cambodia, where once again it's far too hot to be outside and too noisy to be doing anything in terms of recording or video. We're looking now at number 8 in our series on the book of Exodus, Covenant at Sinai. There's a subject for us to think about. What was the covenant? Was it a contractual obligation that we're looking at here? Or was it mainly a promise of God to the Israelites? Was it conditional? That's another question that often comes up. Well, in the same way that our relationships to some degree are conditional, it's very hard to be helpful to someone who doesn't want your help. You have to accept people's help in order for that to happen. And in the same case with God, without at least acquiescence, agreement, God could not do much for his people. And that was really demonstrated throughout the whole of their wanderings through Sinai on their way to the promised land. They repeatedly did not do what they had said at Sinai. You remember there, if you look at Exodus 19, which is the lead in to the Ten Commandments, and the people camped at Mount Sinai with all the instruction God gives. And let us be careful there. Yes, there are a lot of prohibitions. Don't touch the mountain. Don't approach it. Don't do this. Don't do that. And yet, they were supposed to go up the mountain and meet God. They at the right time, when God said that they should. They were not supposed to be like a mob rushing up there and so on. It was supposed to be done all decently and in order. The tragedy is that once they saw the mountain smoking and shaking, they said to Moses, "You go up, because if we go up, we'll surely die." And that is really a sad place for people to come to. They say at the foot of Mount Sinai, everything the Lord says we will do. It's a categorical promise. There isn't any ifs or buts or anything, no trying to give yourself a loophole like, well, if God does this, then we'll do that. That is not what this covenant is all about. God is promising his people what he's going to do for them. He's telling them, surely, Exodus 20, our next chapter that we'll look at next time, you don't want to be doing these things. Not primarily because I'm going to come in and threaten you and destroy you, but because that's not really good for you. Yet you can't really tell a slave that. They have to see everything in very much punitive terms, I'm afraid. It's black and white. You either do this or you're out, and so on. And I think that is the problem as we look at Sinai, that covenant. It all seems rather legalistic, and you do this and you'll be fine. No, God is trying to lead them to a better understanding of what life is all about, what a relationship with him is all about. This is the same God who is love. This is the same God who gives us grace, who cares for us, and so on. So it's not a question of God saying, this is a quid pro quo. You do this and I'll do that. It's something very different. I'm impressed by J.B. Phillips's comment in the quotes. God may thunder his commands from Mount Sinai, and men may fear, yet remain at heart exactly as they were before. And I think that's what worried God, that whatever they said didn't really matter. They were only speaking out of their fear, out of the thought of the God's threats and so on. But as soon as those threats and those fears appeared to go away, they said, okay, well, let's forget about that. And as it says in the old version, they rose up to play. And this was no kind of board game. This was a full-fledged pagan fertility orgy and so on. So I think as we approach the covenant at Sinai, let's understand that God is trying to work for the best of his people, as always, and that the instructions that we'll look at next time were primarily for their benefit, so that they could live happy, successful, fulfilled lives in the presence of their loving Lord.